All right. What happens when I hit this go live button? Are we live? We are live! There we go. Welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. This is episode 8. This is our double main event episode. We are excited. My name is Karl. Once again, this is the second week in a row now. Tyler Adelle cannot be with us. But with that, it takes 3 men to fill in for Ty. So with me once again, John Smith will be up in the upper, I believe it is the right-hand corner of the screen. I do not think that's backwards. John Smith, how are you today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me back.
Always glad to have you, buddy. On the bottom right, I got the nameplates up. There we go. I'm still a rookie at this, ladies and gentlemen. First time producing the show tonight. On the bottom right part of the screen is our first ever PWP champion, John DeConnie. John, welcome back, buddy. Always glad to see you.
Thanks very much. A pleasure to be with you as always.
Good. And then we have a new addition to the team this week. As you see in the bottom left under me, Ken Peterson, good friend of mine from college. I went to the Attitude Era and back with this guy. We had a blast together watching wrestling back then. Kenny P, glad to have you, buddy.
Thanks for having me out, Karl. Brings me back to the time where I handed you the sweet tape of that Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan match. And then 10 minutes later, you came down to my room going, "Can I have the real tape of the match?" Wish I could have took the picture of your face that day. We'd be millionaires.
When the Ultimate Warrior returned to WCW, Kenny P taped the match for me against Hogan, and then when he taped it, he edited out all the offensive maneuvers of the Ultimate Warrior, and I didn't see one. My childhood hero comes back. I wanted to see at least one move, and Kenny P didn't give it to me. So, but as I mentioned before, this is episode 8. This is our double main event. This is the Undertaker going 2-0 at WrestleMania, but more importantly, a record was set at that WrestleMania. My hero, Tito Santana, up on the board. He set the WrestleMania record for his 7th consecutive loss, a record that still holds true today. Nobody has lost more consecutive matches in WrestleMania history than Tito Santana. He started off strong, winning the first match in Mania history. He had the most wins in Mania history all time at one point, after the first match being 1-0. All alone at the top, 1-0. And it was downhill since, and he lost 7 straight. Like I said, it's a record that I am proud of. I love Tito Santana. I love that he was a part of my life the year that he was when I was in high school. This actually autographed plaque I said last week was given to me as a gift. Kenny P, you sent that up here from South Jersey. I appreciate it, buddy.
Hotspots.com.
All right. Today's show, we got huge championship matches announced in NXT. Fyter Fest is taking shape. Matt Riddle makes his SmackDown debut. Extreme Rules pay-per-view championship matches were booked this Monday on Raw. Some interesting music was played on Impact this week or last week. The first round of the New Japan Cup is in the books. We're going to main event the show, as always we do with every show, with the picks of this week's upcoming matches, sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. But first, we're going to curtain jerk the show. We heard news this Sunday night on the final episode of The Last Ride that The Undertaker is retiring. He mentioned it on the show. WWE has since put out many social media posts thanking The Undertaker for his time in the company. And again, also The Undertaker, I saw, made a post today thanking the fans as well for being in his corner for the past 30 years. So I guess the question is, first, John Smith, I'll start with you. We'll go clockwise here. I guess it's a 2-part question. The first question will be, is this real or not? Is this an actual retirement? And then 2, who do you see facing The Undertaker at WrestleMania?
I think he believes it, but I don't believe it. Not for a couple of years, at least. Not until they're done with Saudi Arabia. Because they flash those millions at him in Saudi Arabia, he'll come back.
They have a lot of money. Yeah, they paid Vince a lot of money, Saudi Arabia. And it's enough to get Goldberg back. I think they got Taker.
Shawn Michaels came out of retirement for them.
Yeah. John DeConnie, your thoughts? Is this real? Is this bogus? I know, as a football fan, I know you're a Bears fan, but I know, as being a Bears fan, you followed the career of Brett Favre pretty closely. There's another guy that couldn't stay retired. Do you think this is going to be a Brett Favre situation?
I think, just like John Smith said, I think he believes it as of right now. But, I think harken back to a couple of years ago when we got around January, and who was it that year? I think Rollins got injured, and all of a sudden Triple H took his tie off and, needed to carry the belt into WrestleMania. The right person.
I remember that WrestleMania, John.
Actually, I believe you do. But I think if the right person gets injured and the right scenario unfolds in front of him, I think there's no way he doesn't say, okay, sign me up, put me in, coach.
Yeah, and it seems like just through the Last Ride videos, the documentary series, I've seen bits and pieces of it, but he was very high on AJ Styles. So Kenny P, I'll throw it to you. If he does actually have one more match at WrestleMania in front of the crowd, is it AJ?
You know it, man. MAGA Battle 2, like, it's gonna happen. He, like he said, probably believes he's not gonna retire now. Give him a meaty program, give him 12 weeks of TV, give him a pile of cash. He'll go out and have a good match with a guy who can actually have a good match with The Undertaker, which is a guy like AJ Styles, who can have a good match with a broom. So let's see what happens.
Speaking of brooms, we still have not found Moppy. Back to real life. John Smith. Legacy of The Undertaker. Just your thoughts, your comments. Hypothetically, let's just play along that he actually stage retired. I don't believe he's going to be retired either. I know I've had conversation with John DeConnie, especially this past WrestleMania, that the Boneyard, as great as it was, I think he wants the crowd pop one last time. I think he wants to walk the actual aisle one last time. Legacy of The Undertaker, the Biker Taker, anything. And I got to throw. I just thought of something to do. Got to throw that out there. I'll let you talk first, though, pal.
Oh, I think The Undertaker's legacy is that he went 5 years too long, maybe 4. I think he should have left when the streak was over. Maybe they shouldn't have ended the streak when they did, but once the streak was over, then a lot of his mystique was gone, in my opinion.
Okay. John DeConnie, how about this? Since we had, I think you reiterated that point. I think it was the first time you're on. You reiterated the point that I just made about the Undertaker wanting one last walk down the aisle. But let's play devil's advocate here. The Undertaker's retiring. Does that mean Mark Calloway's retiring? Does he just hop on a bike and ride down the aisle at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I suppose the American Badass could make an appearance instead. I don't think anyone would be too against that if it was the right scenario.
Okay. Kenny P, you've been a historian like myself. You've been watching wrestling for a long time. I'm sure you remember The Undertaker debuting at the Survivor Series way back when. I believe it was 1990. It was a part of the $1 Million Team. You got a favorite Undertaker memory? I know a match for me personally that I know you would love with Undertaker and Bret Hart from SummerSlam 97. That was the match that kind of got me back into wrestling.
Yeah, I was in the building for that one. That was a hell of a contest, and as soon as Hitman won the belt, I ran to the lower bowl and held up my big black and pink 5 sign, and met up with a bunch of other Hitman fans afterwards, talking about how cool the Hitman was, and screaming Hitman and screaming 5, and telling anybody in the Undertaker shirt that we saw to rest in peace for the rest of the night, and oh, yeah, that's right. We're supposed to be talking good about The Undertaker. My bad. Let's see. Memorable match. I don't know. He's had a bunch of them. I'll go with the Jeff Hardy ladder match from SmackDown. That's a good one.
All right, awesome. So I guess this story, it's to be continued. Actually, I was talking with Tyler on the phone yesterday. We were talking about whether or not they pull kind of like a Ric Flair thing from WrestleMania 24, where they actually put him in the Hall of Fame and give him one last match, all on the same night. That's food for thought. I like to see that. I think everybody wants to see him walk the aisle one last time, as the Undertaker, not just as Mark Calloway on a bike.
I don't know. I got a lot of friends who think ABA Taker is the best Taker. So they love hearing that Fred Durst, those sweet tones of Fred Durst as he raises revs the bike and rides it down. So I don't know. Who knows? It all depends on how he feels anyway. There you go. You got it down. Keep on rolling, baby. What I'm saying is that, sure, people want to see him one more time, and they could definitely do that, put him in the Hall of Fame, and then have him wrestle one more night again.
Yeah, I don't think it'll tarnish anything.
He's going to do whatever he wants to do.
It doesn't have to be a great match. It's just one match. Just get the appreciation, you know?
The Taker get his flowers.
Yep. Okay, so let me find. Here we go. So we're going to switch gears because the year 2020 hasn't been a great year in this world by any way, shape, or form. We seem to be getting hit in every way, shape, or form from all angles, and the wrestling world finally got caught. Kind of a black eye was given to the wrestling world this week by some women that were coming out on social media claiming to be abused sexually, mentally, emotionally by male wrestlers. More so in the United Kingdom. I know a couple stories have come out stateside, but we just want to kind of throw this out here from the Essential Wrestling Podcast, and everybody at the Eastern Observer. Keep speaking out. We hear you. We want this to stop. We don't want to have this happen to anybody. It's the same. I'm more shocked that it's going on. Maybe that's just naive on my part. That stuff like this is happening. But we just want to reiterate again. We hear you. We care. We don't want to see this happen to anybody. We know certain stories have come true to fruition, whereas Joey Ryan and Dave Crist in Impact were released, and Jack Gallagher was released in WWE, and even more so, we had Sammy Guevara and Michael Elgin both being suspended from their respective companies. So these aren't just people trying to get attention here. This is real stuff, and this is happening, in real life, and this is true. So keep speaking out. The more we speak out, the more we can weed out the bad eggs here, and we can go forward and go back to wrestling, which is what we love. We want to see these characters. We want to see these people on TV. So,
and if all this going on has made you want to not watch wrestling, please take some time to reconsider, because with all of the garbage gone, that will leave nothing but good people and smart people and respectful people as a part of pro wrestling. So keep speaking out and put them all in the bin.
That's it. So, and going forward, it's kind of going to be a weird transition. I know we were talking about this in pre-production. Now I'm supposed to transition this, and I just can't. But actually, one of the people that was accused in all this, but apparently, I don't know if it was false or still under investigation, was Matt Riddle. And Matt Riddle happened to make a SmackDown debut Friday night in a very, very stallion way for Matt Riddle, as he interrupted AJ Styles' Intercontinental Championship Tournament celebration ceremony, presentation, whatever, all the shuns you want to put on the end of it. They went on to have a match, and then he actually beat the Intercontinental Champion. John Smith, we'll start with you first. The significance of the victory, the significance of the debut. What are we thinking here?
Well, the second it was non-title, we kind of saw that coming, I think. But it was a barn burner of a match. It lived up to my expectations. Daniel Bryan getting involved a little bit, causing AJ Styles to get distracted. It was a good way to end the match. It was 95% clean victory, I guess. But
AJ was the one that was going after Daniel Bryan. Not Daniel Bryan's character. Not anymore, at least. For that time being. I guess Daniel Bryan would have tried to cause a distraction, but Daniel Bryan was just sitting there watching.
Yeah.
John, I kind of thought that was actually pretty cool that they kept everybody out there. That was like a non-lumberjack match. We're going to get at the lumberjack matches a little bit later on in the show because we got one coming up tomorrow night. But that was actually pretty cool to see the wrestlers just stay out there.
Yeah, exactly, an impromptu lumberjack match. And since what little we know about this upcoming SmackDown is that Styles will face Gulak. We know Gulak is already tied in with D-Bry, We know D-Bry kind of pushed the issue to make AJ have the match against Riddle. So do we wind up with a little mini stallion stable here with D-Bry, Gulak, and Riddle?
Kenny Pete, you're the Riddle guy. I've had a conversation exactly. Him and Gulak were buddies way back when. I know you're big into the independent scene. Tell me the connection between Matt Gulak, Drew Gulak, and Matt Riddle.
They were in a posse called Catch Point when they worked for the now defunct independent wrestling fed known as Evolve. They basically they prided themselves on being great mat wrestlers, which they are. And so them being in the mix with Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles is where they should be talent-wise. So it's good to see that they are doing the right thing in that they know what they have with Matt Riddle's in-ring talent and are positioning him in a place where his talent would be reflected. It's not like he's having, opening matches against, he's not just defeating Mojo and squashes. Like he's in right away coming into a real program with, a real talent. But, I'm not going to continue to super support him if these allegations turn out to be true. He'll just be another talented wrestler that I don't want to watch wrestle anymore. But that being said, it's a television product, and that stuff aside, it was entertaining to see, and it was good as a longtime Drew Gulak fan to see him in the mix of all of this as well.
Yeah, Gulak's a Philly guy. I know that's down in your neck of the woods. But yeah, I don't know who mentioned last week that Matt Riddle should be fighting Mojo Rawley. That guy will remain nameless, but what a moron, huh? Oh my God, he was way off. I thought it would have been a nice, easy win just for him to start off his career. But yeah, we'll get to Mojo in a second because I got a question about Mojo. But AJ, we'll get into AJ and Drew Gulak at the end of the show. They are fighting for AJ's Intercontinental Championship. I think that would be a really awesome stable if they get the three of them together. It'd be kind of funny, too. Riddle brings that extra flavor of the personality that he has, too. It'll be a lot of fun with him, Daniel Bryan, and then, kind of messing with Drew Gulak, too, because Drew's kind of serious. Also on SmackDown, we saw the reincarnation of the Eater of Worlds. We do know that Bray Wyatt has had a history with Matt Hardy. They're kind of doing the same thing now. Bray's just transforming between gimmicks of the past, the present, and the future. So, John Licani, I'll start with you first. Where are we going with the Eater of the Worlds? What do you think Bray wants to do with this? Trying to get the Universal title back?
Well, I think we now have the three faces of Wyatt. So, there's all kinds of things you can do with that going forward. And as wrestling tends to do, you can recycle some of the stuff that was done with the three faces of Foley, switching back and forth between, and as Hardy's now doing presently. So there's possibilities are endless. I think it was interesting that for the first time we saw Strowman act at least like perhaps he's shaken. Like this is hearing his master's voice from back in the day. He clearly wasn't worried about the sweater vest Bray Wyatt. Obviously, I think the lead-in was to make everyone think we were going to see the Fiend by the end of the segment, but we get the Eater of Worlds, the three faces of Wyatt. Who knows where they're going with it, but sounds like it's got the potential to be entertaining at the very least, so I'm all good with that.
Yeah, and there's a fourth face of Wyatt, too. His name is Husky Harris. Kenny P, do you think Husky Harris is going to get the next crack at Braun Strowman?
I'd pay attention if he did. When you say Eater of Worlds, did he come out in the Florida shirt with the hat and the rocking chair and stuff?
Follow the buzzers, and then that's how the end of the show was run.
Gotcha. So that's fine. I mean, it's good for them to have a character that they can make a few different personas of and be able to sort of recycle the three faces of Foley but do it in a different way. Three faces of Wyatt, that's fine. They need to do something to rehab him and build him back up again because he's still over as a character. I know his action figure is doing very well. That just was released, but they're going to have to do some better creative to keep that character nurtured and interesting and exciting for people to watch. Yeah,
so John Smith, this looks like this is leading into Extreme Rules here. Any early predictions on if there's going to be a match type? I know there was 2 matches, and we'll get to those when we talk Raw. 2 matches assigned, but there were no extreme stipulations involved yet. Do you think this one will have one?
It could be what's that match that he had with Randy Orton a few years ago in the house? Could be something like that.
Yeah.
Either way, I see him losing at Extreme Rules as old school Bray Wyatt, and then at SummerSlam, the Fiend has to be the one that takes Braun Strowman down.
It's exactly where I was going with it. I think this is all got to circle back to the Fiend at SummerSlam, and that's going to be the one that can't beat Braun.
What's the over-under on them projecting bugs onto the ring mat again?
Oh, no.
The under, that was...
Do without that.
No, that was... I give him an effort for trying. But between that and then whatever that sperm-looking snake thing that was following Randy Orton to the ring, that match was a lot to take in. Unfortunately, I don't remember a lot of that match. I just remember all the bugs in the ring and a sperm chasing Randy Orton down the entrance ramp.
Nightmare fuel.
Shorty G wrestled Mojo Rawley. We'll get Mojo out of the way real quick. Shorty G wrestled Mojo Rawley. John Nicano will go with you with Shorty G as your pick to fight Riddle and in a very good wrestling match. And if Shorty G were in that group with, Gulak and Daniel Bryan and Riddle, that'd be pretty awesome with the 4 of them. Cole was screaming that was an upset, that he beat Mojo Rawley. Can you, I don't normally throw things at my TV, but I wanted to throw something at Michael Cole for that one. Can you just kind of make sense of that, or is he just being...
That's Michael Cole being, what do you want to call it, sizist? In wrestling, the big man is always the favorite. Unless his name is, Shawn Michaels. I don't.
No, so you see, when you say that, I know he's got somebody in his ear telling him, "Yeah, this sounds."
Well, exactly. Well, we all know who the real size queen is, and it's Vinnie Mac and Gorilla.
Damn it! Leave my name out of it. Yeah. Okay. So going forward, I answered my own question on that. Thank you very much. See, that just clarified my. Now I'm okay with it because it's not Cole.
You're not crazy. You're not alone.
Yeah. All right. 2 more things we'll get to before we move forward. John Smith, I know you're big fans of Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura. We heard from that from last week. They ended up jumping the New Day after their match with the Lucha House Party. Anything you want to bring that to light? They seemed very, very upset, and I believe Cesaro was yelling a lot into the microphone, Michael Cole's microphone.
Yeah, I think they should let their fists do the talking more so. I mean, Cesaro hasn't proven that he can talk too well. Nakamura, obviously, is going to give us the Asuka treatment. But I just would love to see them be the ones that take the belts off of the New Day. They need to do something with these guys. They're 2 of the best wrestlers in the company.
Kenny P, anything you want to add to that? You want to add because we didn't. I know you were part of the conversation last week between the New Day versus potentially Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, Cesaro and Shinsuke are definitely lost without Sammy being the mouthpiece, and I totally respect Sammy's decision for not being there at this point. But it definitely, you replace Sami Zayn with Mojo Rawley, it's going to be a downgrade. I don't care what sport you're playing. So. It would Cesaro, like the New Day are going to be over regardless, no matter what they do. Whereas I think Cesaro and Shinsuke need that little extra something sizzle to add to their, in ring when they're allowed to be great. So if they were to win the titles, I feel like there would be way more interest in them as champions than them chasing.
Yeah, well, that'd be great, and I hope they hold them for. If they do get them, I hope they hold them for a while. I mean, I know the SmackDown Tag Division isn't really all that strong, considering they just booted one of the teams off TV. But I think there's only like 4 teams in that division right now, and it's no reason why they can't hold it for a while, or at least until an Uso gets back. That would be fun too if you throw the Usos into that. The other Usos got to be coming back soon, right?
Is one of them injured, or is it a personal thing?
Connie, I Spy a Jersey Girl on Miz TV. Sonya Deville wore the hell out of that pantsuit on Friday night. I loved it. Got into it again with Mandy Rose. This isn't going away anytime soon. Do you want to see this in some sort of Extreme Rules match? That would be fun.
Absolutely. I think her threat to Mandy that she would she promised to take away her only asset, her beauty. I think this leads us to some kind of extreme match. It leads us hopefully to Sonya taking the W there, and perhaps a Trish Stratus face mask on Mandy Rose for a little while going forward. Once again, rehashing an old storyline.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea at all. That was wasn't someone else wearing a nose guard recently too? Wasn't? Oh, Cody. Never mind. Speaking of Cody, John Smith, your opinion?
Oh God. Fast forward. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Kenny P, I want to. We haven't really talked a lot of women's wrestling with you over the years. Sonya Deville, though, has got to be at the top of your list. No. Okay. All right.
I don't have any. Neither of these two characters are very exciting for me, so it's just kind of like a meh kind of segment. And that's, I mean, I'm watching old Bayley matches from Shimmer like before she even got signed. This is what I've been getting into as far as women's wrestling. It's like literally stuff from 8 years ago. So, but you know, I'm more excited about the title picture with what's going on as far as the women are concerned on SmackDown.
We'll get to Sasha and Bayley. We'll get to them. We'll save them for the very end, considering they've been everywhere. So we'll just hold off on them until we talk about Raw, because that's the last we saw them. Quick shout out. They ran a quick package on SmackDown. Titus O'Neil, and everything that's going wrong with this world, Titus O'Neil seems to keep doing right. He was nominated for the ESPN Muhammad Ali Humanitarian Award. And he just keeps on doing great work for the community. I don't really care if he wrestles or not. Titus can stay as long as he wants. Titus is A-OK in my book, and he should be A-OK in everybody's book. Keep up the good works, Titus. We appreciate it. John Smith, there's your logo, buddy. As our senior NXT correspondent, you have now been dubbed. I'm trying to give everybody titles here. Our senior NXT correspondent, John Smith. How would you like to lead this off? I'm going to give you the reins on this one. Where do we go? There was 2 title matches. We got a bleep show with the North American and NXT title that I know we can get into a little more detail when we pick matches later. But you can take the reins on this one.
I'd like to start with the whole 4-way interaction with who was it? Gargano, Balor, Cole, and Keith Lee. I think that's a real interesting way to get them all involved. I think Cross is going to do something to Keith Lee next week to cost him his title because he broke his hourglass.
Yes, and I just want to cut you off real quick, John, because I forgot to make this joke last week. We all know Scarlett Bordeaux has a very good hourglass. I just didn't think it was actually literally an actual hourglass. Continue.
Good one. So, yeah, I definitely see Balor taking the title from him. I see Balor pinning Gargano. Keith Lee is taken out by Cross. Then I see Cross interfering in the world title match where the titles don't get unified. But it's going to set up Cross versus Cole at the next takeover. That's the way I look at that one.
Okay, so, I mean, all right, John LeConte, we'll throw it down to you then to keep going with this. So, they're kind of, we kind of came to agreement that we were okay with the heel versus heel aspect of Adam Cole versus Karrion Kross. And it looks like we really had nothing to worry about to begin with because Karrion Kross isn't involved in any of this.
Well, at some point, he's got to be. Just like at some point, obviously, Dream, the stipulation is Dream can't go after Cole as long as he's holding the belt at the moment. But like we talked about last week, there's so much talent there at the top of the card. You've got Cross, you've got Dream, You've got Gargano. Can't forget about Ciampa just because he got crushed by Cross. Yep. You got Baylor. You got Lee. You got Cole. Now,
Breezango.
Now, pay attention, Al, because you may never hear me say this again.
Okay.
But I'm going to put my trust in Triple H. That he's going to come up with something that I don't see coming at all. Because right now, as I look at that situation, we just said last week how much talent we have at the top there. You've got 6 guys for 2 titles, and somehow they've decided to throw 4 or 5 of those 6 guys all in one pile and have them come out with one man holding both titles.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. But I'm going to cross my fingers and trust in Triple H that something happens that's going to make me say, okay, there you go. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Kenny P, you know me since 1998. You lived down the hall from me in Rider University. I've been saying trust Triple H for years now.
Who knows?
I'm sorry, Ken. I was cutting you off, pal. I didn't know you were talking. Go for it.
I remember when Jim Crockett totally did that with Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff and Ronnie Garvin and Terry Bam Bam Gordy, and he just threw them all in a pile and was like, whoever's going to win is going to win both belts. Definitely happened. No, it didn't.
Now, do you trust Triple H to do the right thing for the people here? Because to tell you the truth, he's paying attention to AEW because he's putting this title match right up against what will most likely be the main event of Fyter Fest and Jon Moxley and Brian Cage.
How dare you put the disrespect on Orange Cassidy's name, saying him versus Chris Jericho will not be the main event of that show. How dare you?
Okay, I will table this conversation for now and to the next segment because we are talking about AEW.
I don't trust Triple H to do anything. El Fantasma, El Hijo del Fantasma, Joaquin Wilde, a.k.a. DJZ, and Raul Mendoza are the 3 dudes to watch on NXT because they're going to sweep up and clean up all those guys because somebody's going to leave out of the 7 guys that John DeConnie just mentioned. Somebody's going to be leaving. Other guys are going to be going bumped to the main roster. And El Hijo del Fantasma is the dude waiting in the wings for whoever's going to come out on top of that 9-guy pile to be like, that belt is mine.
All right. You don't think? Well, you're gonna think he's gonna do it as cruiserweight champion, or think they're gonna keep him down there for a little bit?
He'll be cruiserweight champion to be established, and then he'll probably just win all 3 belts.
Oh, he's gonna. Okay.
Little Lance Storm action.
Right, and then he's gonna rename them after different Mexican provinces.
I'd pay to see that then.
Does Mexico have provinces? Add us at Twitter if Mexico has provinces. Thanks.
Going forward, John Smith, Breezango didn't get the job done in the opening match of the show. Interference from Indashir, and then trying to be saved by Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch kind of caused a huge bleep show, a huge cluster bleep, whatever you want to bleep here, where Imperium snuck out the win. But now you got 4 teams. Now you got a whole group going after the titles again.
Yeah, I love the way Breezango's looking now that they're back in NXT. The entrance they made to remix to Imperium, that was awesome. And if they keep this up, I definitely see them being tag champs, not anytime soon, but within the next year or so. Because that tag division's been kind of lacking lately, and they're a great addition to it.
John DeConnie, anything you want to follow up here on how great Breezango's entrance was?
You can show me Imperium versus Emporium as many times as you want. I'm buckling in and watching.
All right, so, Kenny P, we'll throw this one at you. The following match, after the tag title match, was Damien Priest and Killian Dane. And I didn't bring this up last week because I didn't know if it was going to be if I was just reading too much into it. Because Priest was just did an interview after his loss to Finn Balor at TakeOver, but it seems like they're making Damien Priest a face now, a baby face, a good guy for all you people who are layman's here. Are you okay with Damien Priest going the good guy route here?
Well, so we all know that the idea of good guys versus bad guys has become passé. Triple H loves this guy. Exactly. Triple H loves this guy and had to just basically do the classic another Vinceism of how do we get out of this? So how do we get this golden guy out of this program with Balor and reposition him as a good guy so that we can then make lots of money on him maybe. So I think this is the beginning of that happening. And everything we've seen of Damien Priest now is him just getting used to the NXT system. And now that he's been there for a little while, has more experience, is going to be ready to step into that babyface role, which I think will be very good. And things will be positive for everybody. And then we have one more entertaining act on a show that needs entertaining acts.
All right, now Kenny P. I know you watched or used to watch Ring of Honor. I remember back in the day, his name was Punishment Martinez. I like that name a lot better. You okay with the name Damien Priest? Just out of curiosity.
Sure. I think I feel like they're the same kind of name. It's just like, guys get in the car and they drive up and down and they goof around with like what names they're going to be. Like Chuck Taylor's got a whole notepad he used to read off. He was just like, one of them was actually used by current ROH wrestler Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Like there's just these whack random names he's just got in a notepad. And it's just like, 2 words with a random name.
Two quick notes about the NXT women's division. Aaliyah beat Xia Li with unintentional help from Robert Stone, who threw up in the middle of the ring. Aaliyah finally got the win, and I think she finally got signed by Robert Stone to be a part of Robert Stone's brand. What was that, John?
He's gonna puke.
Yeah.
He's gonna stop there.
Here's the question of this. So ever since Chelsea Green fired Robert Stone after that whole when tagging with Charlotte Flair and doing that whole thing, Chelsea Green has not been on TV, and Robert Stone has been on Every Week Entertaining, and Aaliyah's been on Every Week Entertaining, and now they're finally. Is this backfire on Chelsea Green? John Smith, the NXT guy.
I think they have other plans for Chelsea Green. I think they're letting us, wash our brains of her for a minute. And then when she comes back, she'll be something different or, just not tied to that at all. Or maybe she'll come in and beat the crap out of Aaliyah. Who knows?
Yeah. That's going to be the ready-made feud, right, John McCowney? That's the ready-made.
Sounds about right. I have a better question that's been bothering me since Robbie, whatever his name is, showed up as Robert Stone.
Yes.
You've already got a Roderick Strong on this roster, and now you have a Robert Stone. Is that not the kind of thing that, let's say, sun shines upon him and he makes it to the main roster? Does that not scream of Vince sitting in the gorilla position and right before he walks through the curtain going, we can't have that name. You're Bobby Pebbles now. All right, down there.
I almost like that better. I thought you were going to say that you're just going to.
For sure. Because, Roderick Strong is going to be an NXT lifer. I feel like if he ever gets called up to the main roster, it's going to be done for. His next move is going to be away from the company. So, yeah, I could definitely see Robert Stone being a main roster act and Vince being like, we've already got an RS on the roster.
Well, I was watching.
Damn, pal.
And they already got a guy named Robert Roode, who we just found out. He's still not there. Him and those Singh brothers.
What, did you see him on the side of a milk box? Where did you see him?
Dolph Ziggler name dropped him. He was a part of the AJ Styles trade. We'll get to that.
That's right. I saw a graphic. I forgot. I almost blinked and missed it.
Also in the women's division, Dakota Kai beat Kaden Carter. Try saying that 5 times fast. Dakota Kai, Kaden Carter. Then I spotted another Jersey girl at NXT. We got Casey Catanzaro got involved, and Raquel Gonzalez got involved. I'm hoping there's a tag team match at some point in time in the next 3 weeks. That'd be a lot of fun. I'm loving that Casey. I can't believe as tiny as she is. You really don't understand how small she is until you put her up against probably the smallest person in NXT. She's still shorter.
Yep.
Super
and the
small in
last point I
person
want to
too.
get to
Like
in
I saw her
NXT.
live then. She was very, very tiny.
Yeah. The last point I want to get to in NXT, and I was excited. Leon Ruff got entrance music. He got a Titantron video. He's a part of the team now. John DeConnie, you're laughing. I'll hit you up. Leon Ruff is here to stay, I think.
No, I was waiting for you to finish that thought. He got entrance music, he got a Titantron, and then he got squashed.
Yeah, you guys. What? That's irrelevant. No, he's on the team though now. He's got entrance music. John Smith, are we getting pyro for Leon Ruff this week coming up? That's the only thing that's missing right now. Maybe one of those 3D graphics, that they have on SmackDown with the Miz, when he comes up and shit.
Yeah, like the New Day has and stuff. Yeah. Now he's just going to be the resident jobber, at least for a while.
Yeah, it's fun. He's excited too. He came down with he was fired up for that match with Bronson Reed. All right, moving forward. Here we go. I actually made nameplates for this. All right, ready for this? Woo. Dynamite! There it is.
Nice.
There we go. AEW. All right, started the match off. Like I said, the big focus this week were a lot of the company's tag titles were on the line. Imperium defended it. Now also on this Wednesday night, Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, they defended it against the Natural Nightmares. Any thoughts on this match? This wasn't really anything as crazy as I kind of thought it made out to be. Ali showed up and really didn't cause any controversy. Like QT Marshall had a pretty good match though. Kenny P, did you check out AEW this match?
I thought it was great.
Okay. John DeConnie, care to follow up?
I just want to, make a point of saying that maybe Dustin doesn't get enough credit for just what a pro he is. He kind of knocked heads early in that match, and he obviously was a little dinged. And he hit a Canadian Destroyer, I believe, during the match.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
He just had a heck of a match, and I just think, he's just so damn solid.
Can we
John
stop
Smith, I know
the
you're not
Canadian Destroyer though.
And the fact that Excalibur, that's the first time I've actually heard. A lot of people have been using it, but that was the first time I've actually heard Canadian in front of the Destroyer part of it. So part of the while that Petey Williams is getting recognized here. So I know Petey, I remember, I guess him went on Twitter a couple while ago that he was getting really upset that people weren't calling it the Canadian Destroyer because he had a specific reason why he did that. Kenny P, you know why Petey Williams named that flip pile driver to the Canadian Destroyer at all, or no?
Yeah, because he's Canadian and it destroys you. And it's supposed to be a finish.
There you go. Our problem solved. Awesome.
The point is why he was also getting mad is that everybody and their brother does the Canadian Destroyer, but they do it as a transition move instead of a finish. And that's why people hate on it. It still looks great. I mean, Buff Bagwell hit a Canadian Destroyer on Ethan Page at an independent a bunch of years ago. And the way they explained it, they were like, you're going to do a sunset flip, but just hold on. And they didn't show him video or nothing. And Buff was like, yeah, man, no problem. I'll go out and do it. And the video looks great. So it's just one of those moves. But, hey, it's respect to the creator, and that's what you do. You pay homage to those legends who've come before you in the time-honored tradition of the sport.
I remember I saw the Canadian Destroyer for the first time, and my jaw hit the ground. I think it was the first ever Impact episode. I was like, holy crap. Like that was incredible. All right, going forward. Okay, now John Smith, I need to thank you. In rewatching last week's tape, episode 7 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast, which you can go into the archives at ProWrestlingPick'em.com. There is a section, podcast section, where you can watch old episodes of the Essential Wrestling Podcast if you so desire. To see if we were right, see if we were wrong, see if we were crazy, see if we laughed, we cried, we hurled. But I watched it, 2 times to do some scouting report to myself. I completely missed it. I get a text from Tyler. He's like, what did you just say? And he sent me the clip, and he's like, look at John Smith's face. And I didn't catch it, and I appreciate you not calling me out on it. But I just want to thank you guys for not calling me out. It's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm going to stop saying his name. I'm just going to call him MJF from now on, just trying to make life easier on myself. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Won't happen again because I'm not even going to attempt to do it again.
I don't even remember what you said, to be honest with you.
Yeah, your head. You did like the cane head tilt, like you were going to choke slam me. But okay, so Kenny P, I'll go with you this one. MJF and Billy. There was no slating of Chuck, just Billy's kids. Austin and Colton. Anything you want to throw out there this match other than me getting his name correctly this week?
If you call him M. Jeff, he really likes that. So
M.
that's
Jeff?
what you could go with. M. Jeff. Solid, entertaining contest. I think Austin Gunn is hilarious, and putting him in with the equally funny, as much as a bad guy as M. Jeff wants to be, he's just funny. So it's just an entertaining segment for me.
Now, I don't know. I'll throw this out to all three of you. How come the other Gun kid, named Colton, I believe I heard correctly, how come he didn't stay at ringside? Anybody know?
Social distance.
Well, he's not even like in the barrier with Billy and Austin either. All of a sudden, I thought it was just Billy and Austin.
He's got a high temperature.
The third guy came out, and then he came out for 2 seconds, waved, and then he walked to the back. I just didn't know if there was a story behind that. John Smith, we're going to go to your favorites here. Cody got his third straight win. The Young Bucks got another win. Anything you want to bring up with those two matches?
Not really. I just don't. I don't like how Cody's acting like he's doing all this charity work by putting his title on the line against anybody. It kind of makes it's a brand new title. Make it mean something by having a good story to tell, not just by beating a bunch of guys that some of us have never heard of. Like this. What was his name? Starks.
Yeah, Ricky Starks and Kenny P. I'm gonna throw that into your wheelhouse because I know you like the indie guys. Who's Ricky Starks?
Absolutely.
Ricky Starks, the Stoke Daddy. I only saw him on the newly relaunched NWA. He's got charisma that jumps off the screen. He's a super character. He can talk. He can wrestle. He can do everything. And totally, my timeline was nothing but praise and thanks and good for him for being there. And I just want to say another thing that you had totally skipped over, Al. Don't mean to step out of my place, but second match on the show was Anna Jay versus.
Oh no, I'm getting to her. Don't worry about it. I'm getting to her. Don't worry about it.
Another lady wrestler who I'm actually not familiar with at all, but it was very, again, my timeline was very excited to see her be a part of the product because she's an over-the-top character.
No, definitely. No, Kenny P, she did not slip off my radar. I was getting to her eventually. What was that? Like, that was crazy. That was something. John DeConnie, you're laughing here. What was that? That was
I'm not entirely sure. All I know is I got a text from our buddy who was in the PWP, Fitz, and he said, take a look at maybe the hottest wrestler visually in AEW, and he sent me a little picture of Anna Jay. So I tuned right over, and by the end of the segment, I really wasn't paying attention to Anna Jay. I was saying, what in God's name did she just face? So, I think what is it, Abaddon?
Yes, Abaddon.
Yeah, I think she made the impact she was looking to make because that's who I was talking about by the end of that match.
Yeah, and they ran the promotional package for Anna Jay beforehand. The star of the show, great gimmick, great look. I was excited to see Anna Jay, and then she got dropped quickly. That was wow. That was something. But then we're going to go after this. John, we'll throw it to you, John Smith. Here comes Brody Lee again. Brody Lee comes out, picks up Anna Jay. He goes after the ones that are down on their luck. She didn't seem reluctant at all to go back with the Dark Order. They're going to hit the female scene, huh?
They're just bringing them in from all angles. They're expanding their horizons. I like to see if Colt Cabana actually accepts the invitation or what exactly was in that envelope. Maybe it was just a formal, invitation or something. But that Abaddon is real creepy, I'll say. That's one of those gimmicks that it almost made me want to change the channel because I was getting a little creeped out. You know?
I think that's what she's going for, though. Not that actually people want to change the channel, but I think that's exactly – you got to stand out. It's exactly what she's doing. Good for her. I hope nothing but good things for her. The Young Bucks, the Superbad Squad, FTR, Blade and the Butcher, they all got into a brawl. Again, it seems like FTR and the Bucks are on a collision course for Fyter Fest. So we can table that conversation either for the next week or the week after when Fyter Fest rolls around. I know it's next Wednesday, right? It's the first. Next Wednesday is the first night of Fyter Fest. So we'll get into that discussion then. Best Friends retained their number one contendership by beating Les Sex Gods. And then again, it turned into another Jericho and Orange Cassidy segment. Kenny P, you're an Orange Cassidy guy, it seems like. Spread the good word.
Totally, bro. He's going to win everything. He's going to do all of it. And he's going to do it cool, bro.
With minimum effort.
Whatever, man.
All right. And John Smith, we will get back to the conversation of what was in that envelope because I believe we know what it was, and we'll discuss it when we talk about the picks for tomorrow night's match. How are we doing here on time? Oh, we have 51. Okay, we're not doing too bad. John DeConnie, our senior Impact correspondent. We're going to flip Tuesday nights here. Apparently, we're giving, I won't say the North too much credit here, but apparently they're coming up on their year anniversary of their title reign. So it seems like it's been a lot longer than what it has been. But I guess the North's coming up on their 1 year anniversary here coming up, and they just defeated the Rascals. Kenny P's seen enough. There's the North. That's the North. That's why he's getting it. Leave the leave. Yeah, there you go. So the North defends the Impact Tag Championships against the Rascals. Any thoughts on the contest? I thought it was really good. I thought Ethan Page is getting a lot better.
Yes, yeah. It was a solid match start to finish. It was nice to see them finally back in the building to, get involved rather than wrestling in random barns and other places in Canada.
Yeah, I only saw one of their matches against I don't even know, it was just two enhancement guys.
Eners or
and
something.
It was just the match. Ethan Page was making a mockery of the whole thing, and then the other guy, why is the other guy Alexander, right?
Josh Alexander.
Yeah, Josh. I keep on thinking Jason Alexander, and I know he's not George Costanza. I keep on screwing that up. Why is his name Jason Alexander?
I was in the pool.
Moose retained the NWA Championship against Hernandez. It was a hard-hitting match, but I think that's going to be the big story. We probably should have led with this. We heard some troubling music, so to speak, at the end of that match when Moose won. What is? I love that music. That's one of my favorite entrance musics ever. Trouble. Come on, Kenny, you can dance with me. Trouble.
Yes, indeed.
Are they just screwing around with the fans here? Or, I mean, if EC3 goes anywhere, it's going to be Impact. I can't imagine him going to All Elite Wrestling or anywhere else. He'd get killed in Japan. I can't imagine him going to Japan.
Yeah, it fits perfectly, him going right back there and taking back over in some way, shape, or form.
Before he was Ethan Carter III, he was Michael Hutter and was a top guy for Cleveland Independent Absolute Intense Wrestling, AIW. The dude's got charisma. The dude can talk. The dude can be a character, and he's shredded to the gills. And there isn't anybody backstage that's going to stop him once he puts a microphone in his hand. So if he goes back to Impact, it's going to be short run until he shows up on AEW and takes over the world.
So you're saying he's eventually going to go there, huh? I mean, like I said, the one thing I remember having the conversation with John DeConnie, because we were both Impact guys and huge EC3 fans. Kenny Pete, nail on the head. The guy can talk better than anyone I know. And he's got the personality. He can play a great heel. I remember there's one segment with Jeff Hardy where he kept on spitting water in Jeff Hardy's face. It was absolutely hysterical. And the in-ring's questionable with him. That's my only... And like I said, if he gets rushed in WWE, which he did, it just...
I feel like if he went back to Impact short term because of the pandemic, he's at least getting a contract and steady income, fine. But in the bigger picture, it's been there, done that, because he's already been there. He's already proved that he can be the biggest, coolest, most exciting thing on the roster there. Yeah. And also a good person, which is something Impact definitely needs once they shuffle out everybody that they've already shuffled in. So, I mean, it's a slam dunk for them to throw whatever they can at EC3 to bring him back in, because once he is put in a position to take over, he will.
John DeConnie, the main event was a street fight between Ace Austin and Eddie Edwards. How'd that turn out?
Ace Austin with the victory. Eddie Edwards as always, very entertaining in his extreme nature, as it has become. But Austin winds up with the victory. And unfortunately...
And he has a new friend. He has a new friend in Madman Fulton. He has his Big Daddy Diesel, his Big Daddy Cool.
Yes, and was Fulton... oh, my goodness. Was he the one who jumped one of the Rascals?
You know what? You wouldn't know, but Josh Matthews blurted it out at the end of the match. Like, it made no sense to me whatsoever. Like, oh my God, it's Madman Fulton. I'm like, oh, all right, that's pretty cool. He was the one that jumped Trey. I'm like, you don't know that. Like, where did you come up with this? Like, why are you saying this? Like, I like Josh and all. I can tolerate him, but sometimes he just blurts out some stuff that just.
Well, I wonder if that wasn't him, going out on his own, a la Heenan at Bash at the Beach.
Yeah,
Hogan's here, but which side is he on?
Which side is he on? Oh, it's freaking. What are you talking about? Shimori tried to cover it. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Will you stop?
Oh, John DeConnie. Here's your first fail, first banner fail. Forgot to put it up. Forgot to put up the Impact logo.
There we go.
My bad. All right, that's 10 more push-ups for me.
All
right, Kenny P. Kenny P. We brought you on. I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm glad to have you on. I was going to have you on regardless, but you are the New Japan, the New Japan Cup. Somebody I can talk to about it. The Johns don't watch. Tyler doesn't watch. I know you do. Anything that sticks out before I get into what my big surprise was? I was actually shocked with it. Anything you wanted to spit out there first of what you thought of the first round in the New Japan Cup?
Well, hang on, let me get my official New Japan Pro Res official towel so I can be the official correspondent. I gotta have the towel.
Senior correspondent, Kenny P.
So what I'm saying is that with the first round, you're looking at first round exits by Shingo, Zack Sabre Jr., and another heavy hitter who I am spacing on at this point.
I can tell you this right now because he's the guy I wanted to bring up. Like how I don't really watch all that often, but anytime Minoru Suzuki takes an L,
oh yeah, Suzuki, you're right.
I'm shocked. I was shocked that he was a first round out in this tournament.
Yeah, I was very shocked as well. I mean, seeing Kota and Zach in the first round is very strange. That popped out to everybody. Sho is a guy who I think once they split up Roppongi 3K of Sho and Yo, I think Sho is going to be the Bret Hart of the team, who's going to be the guy who goes on to singles glory in a few years. So I think the office is very behind him.
Those two have been hit. The last time I saw those two, they weren't that big. Those two hit the gym. Sho and Yo.
Sho especially. Sho's huge.
They're ripped now.
Yeah, they're definitely eating their vegetables every day.
Other first rounders, I guess. So Hiromu Tashihaki. One thing I know, I'm a big Lij Kenny P. Lij fan.
They
went 4-1, and I believe the Shingo Takagi. Did I say that right?
Yep, Shingo Takagi. You're right.
Takagi. Oh, so nice to hear that announcer again. He was the only one that had the loss for Lij. They represented strong. They had a good first round with 4 wins.
Yeah, Sonata is gonna, I think, go deep into this. Evil is always somebody you have to look out for, but I think somebody people are sleeping on. Bushi's very underrated because he's a guy who takes a lot of the pins in the 6-mans and 8-mans. So it's going to be interesting where they decide to go with this.
Dude, any argument that Evil has the best entrance in New Japan?
It's a very good one. It's a very good
awesome.
one for sure. He's definitely funny when Guido. Evil wrestled over here for Ring of Honor as Watanabe for a very long time, and he was a great wrestler, but like nobody cared about him because he didn't have a gimmick. So like the old saying that Bruce Pritchard likes to drop is that, he put a hat on a hat on a hat, which is basically what Evil is. It's like, let's give him a robe, let's give him the big nasty scythe. What else does he need? Oh, he needs a mask. Oh wait, there's something else missing. I know. Let's put lasers on his fingers. So it's like, it's like they put a hat on a hat on a hat, and now everybody's like, oh, Evil, this guy's great because he's wearing 12 gimmicks on the way to the ring.
What would you call it, a Sith? I thought it was like a sickle. The Evil Sith. That staff is huge. Whatever you want to call it, that thing is huge.
Yeah, it doesn't come over for the U.S. shows because they can't put it on a plane properly with security and everything.
Yeah, it makes complete sense to me.
Yeah, I mean the guy, it's his demon staff. I called it a scythe, Scythe. It's a good one above all.
My last question, and then we'll save. We got the quarterfinals coming up. I guess tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah, tomorrow morning's going to be great. So we're already looking at.
We'll get into the picks at the end of the show. Right, we got the picks at the end of the show, but I do want to get real quick with everything opening up and them allowing fans in. I think they're getting like a third capacity for the finals and Dominion. Is this just have Okada and Naito written all over it? I know Naito's a champ and his belt's on the line, but does this tournament just have Okada written all over it?
It might and it might not, because they would have you think it would go that way until they want to put someone else in that spot. Like they've done it before with Hiroki Goto. They've done it before with other players before. So you would think it would be a cakewalk for Okada, and they would line into Okada Naito. But I think that they're going to hold Okada Naito, and they're going to figure out a different person to put in at Dominion through the New Japan Cup, and then have that continue to be a successful title defense for Naito at Dominion.
Okay, I just figured maybe just an excuse to get the fans back in and get them excited for New Japan, being back. You just throw Okada into the main event, and that's your answer. He's the Roman Reigns of New Japan. My thinking.
If they can only have 30% capacity, why give them the match that they? Like, why give them that match right away when they can't get the excitement back? I didn't know. Yeah. So, like, that's why you sort of, you don't want to, show your hand, so to speak. You want to make sure that you're doing everything. You want to properly put an event together that people are going to come to, but at the same time, not, throw away Goldberg Hogan on Nitro for free.
Save it for the St. Thomas Super Arena.
Exactly. It's like why they had to phase out Clash of the Champions, because they wanted people to actually spend money on the product.
All right, so that will conclude. Like I said, the quarterfinals start, I guess, tomorrow morning here. I guess
6 a.m. baby, New Japan World
tonight over in Japan. We'll get to those picks in our main event segment here, where we're picking all the shows here. But we lost John Nakani.
I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Not
a problem. We're going to go right to Raw then, John Nakani, if you don't mind. We don't have a senior Raw correspondent yet. There you go. It's been confirmed that Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode were the other part of the AJ Styles trade. Dolph Ziggler came out to confront champion Drew McIntyre. They were old buddies. Drew called himself Big Daddy Claymore, which I thought was hysterical. And Dolph asked for a match. He said he was owed a title shot at Extreme Rules, and Drew granted it. And Drew, all right, here we go. I know we've had this conversation recently about Dolph Ziggler with the Universal title. Are we going to give Dolph a chance here, John Nakani?
I don't see it. I think, as we talked about last week, maybe even and before that, if they were going to take the title off of McIntyre and then make him chase back to, let's say, SummerSlam to hopefully have some people in the building and give him the day he didn't get at WrestleMania. I think they would have done it with Lashley because they were already kind of building him to be this unstoppable beast. So I think Ziggler coming over, maybe it's just putting a pause on maybe getting back to McIntyre Lashley. No offense to Ziggy, but maybe it's just a little filler, little time filler.
Okay, John Smith.
I don't think he can have a great match with him because I'm sure he will.
Dolph, in my opinion, Dolph doesn't put on bad matches. John Smith, I know you're not the highest on Ziggler, but are you seeing this as anything?
Well, Ziggler's grown on me over the past couple of years, ever since.
Oh, finally!
Finally, yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Randy Orton I hated like I hate Cody Rhodes. But now I actually really like Randy Orton. Ziggler is kind of like a tweener for me now. I respect him, but he's not winning this match, and I just see this as like a filler angle. I don't know where they're going for the SummerSlam match. Maybe they don't even know where they're going yet because they don't know if they're going to have people in the crowd or what. But I don't see Dolph Ziggler walking the aisle at SummerSlam as the champ. It just doesn't.
I don't see it either. Kenny P, do you see it at all?
No, they're never going to put a title on Dolph Ziggler ever.
Again, they did already.
Yeah, but like they did years ago, and they haven't done it when he's been relevant ever. Like, go back and watch that pop he got from the Raw 2013, and they're never going to ever come close to putting that much resources into him ever again.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He's got the moves. He's got the ability.
It's got nothing to do with him. It's all about the office. The office won't let him be who he needs to be in order for people to care about him, period.
Yeah. Do you think, I guess John Smith kind of said it, so I want to ask you because you kind of answered the question I'm about to ask, thinking that they don't know what they're doing yet for SummerSlam. If he gets
they
back,
don't even know what building it's going to be in.
Yeah, but then is Brock Lesnar going to be involved in this as well? You got to factor in him. Yeah.
Who knows? I know it's not. I mean, the mayor of Boston said there's no major events indoor going to be happening in the city. And so Vince is going to have to fight City Hall if he thinks SummerSlam is happening in an arena in front of people, period.
I saw that. That was, that was a while ago, he said, until after Labor Day, before they can have indoor events.
The city of Boston's not going to stand for it, even though Massachusetts is on the green list of states that are able to come back at this point.
Yep. Yeah, there's no reason to rush it. Florida rushed it,
Uncle Phil spits a hot fire every day.
South Dakota did nothing.
The Street Profits, they won the Anything You Can Do, We Can Do Better feud. They won the match, the final, series match against the Viking Raiders. They won the series 6-5. They retained their Raw Tag Team titles. And they proceeded to get jumped by Andrade and Angel Garza for their efforts. I love this. This match was supposed to be at WrestleMania before Andrade got injured and Austin Theory subbed in. So I like this match. I think it would be a great match if they extend it to the pay-per-view. I don't think it would be a bad spot to put it in. Maybe have some kind of funky stipulation with it. Who knows? Who haven't I got? John Smith. I don't think I've let you in a while.
Well, I like where they're going with Andrade and Angel Garza going after those titles because I think it's a means to the end of them splitting Andrade off. Whether they win the titles and then they break up eventually, or if they just lose the title match and it causes them to break up. I think that it was kind of dumb for the Viking Raiders to lose and then not turn heel, though. I felt like if they were going to just straight up lose to the Street Profits, they should have destroyed them and then, been the real freaking war machine that we know.
Exactly. Snap and turn back into War Machine. Change the characters. Exactly. I would have liked to have seen that. Yeah, John DeConnie, your thoughts on the feud and then going forward?
Yeah, likewise, I would have liked to have seen a little bit of destruction after the match too. I thought it was an interesting and perhaps wasteful decision to, in the same night and in fact in back-to-back segments, have the Street Profits finally get their W over the Viking Raiders, and then have Asuka finally get her W over Charlotte. Like it just seemed like if you were gonna, like there was such a build to both of those,
Yeah.
and you do them not only on the same night but in back-to-back segments, kind of diminish
Same outcome.
Yeah.
Kenny P, chime in, buddy. What do you got?
I'm glad this whole segment of nonsense is over. I'm glad we can get back to wrestling matches. I'm glad that War Machine will be allowed to show. I'm sorry, the Viking Raiders. My bad. I don't mean to be such a smart. But I'm glad to see the War Viking Raiders back in effect and actually having matches with tag teams that can hang with them and not just squashing Jay Brones for no reason. So I'm excited about all 6 of these guys. They're all good wrestlers, and I hope they give them the chance to shine.
I think, all right, Kenny, it doesn't sound like you were a fan of everything that they were doing in the past couple months, and I feel like with the Viking Raiders going through this and doing something different outside of the Performance Center in this time in the world where different can be good, I think they will get rewarded for this eventually. I think they will be able to, I guess they get rewarded for it, for lack of a better term. So,
I hope so. I mean, their strength is definitely not in backstage comedy segments. Like, their strength is being a bruiser tag team. So
yeah,
put the pieces in a position to succeed.
Yeah, they will. They will. I think they will. And then John LeConte, you just mentioned it. Asuka defeated Charlotte Flair to retain the Raw Women's Championship by making Charlotte tap out. Granted, that was a shoulder that was injured in an earlier scuffle with Nia Jax. I guess the question is, I don't recall Charlotte ever tapping out, unless there was a bank statement I missed on a Raw years ago when her feud, because other than Sasha and Bayley, no one really has submissions. I can't imagine her submitting to Natty's sharpshooter, but maybe a bank statement at some point. But I don't remember. Has she ever tapped before? Was that at first?
Yeah, I believe so, and that's what makes it even more perplexing. They didn't make much of it. Okay, yes, they set it up with the the pre-fight injury backstage, but then to have Asuka clamp on the Asuka lock, get her to tap, and make, I don't want to say nothing of it, but make surprisingly little of it.
Yeah. John Smith.
I don't like that the win has an asterisk because she was hurt. I feel like Asuka deserves to get a clean victory over Charlotte at this point. She should have gotten it at WrestleMania 3 years ago. But, Charlotte is apparently going for another elective surgery. So I think that's why they're writing her off of TV this way. But, I love that Asuka beat her. I just don't like that it's got that little asterisk to it. That's all.
Yeah, and Kenny P, she had that Asuka lock in. She had it in deep. Now, Samoa Joe in that match on commentary, and I've been noticing this a lot about him lately, he loves when a submission is put on somebody. Like the general excitement and the enthusiasm coming out of Samoa Joe on the announce table when Asuka was stretching Charlotte every which way in that entire match it was fun. That was fun for me. And then here's in deep. He gets down. He gets into the thing. So Kenny P, your thoughts on that? Samoa Joe submission? Anything? Is he better than Taz? He's better than Taz.
100% he's better than Taz. That's not even a question mark. Taz is a T-shirt. Samoa Joe, real shooter, baby. Boo, boo, boo. Boo, boo, boo. I mean, of course, he shouldn't even be on commentary. He should be back in the ring killing people. It's just because he's so good and he's so eloquent and they don't have anybody else to fill in the spot. I feel like Joe in his prime is being completely, once again, misused by the company. Like, he should be in the ring killing people instead of talking about it.
Now, Sid, I'm going to do this to myself real quick, but I did see an article that actually he's still not medically cleared. So I will throw this up here. I'm not exactly sure if that's true or not.
Oh, jeez.
But from what I've been told, Samoa Joe is not medically cleared, so they're just giving him, just trying to get him on TV. And exactly, he's killing it.
I just want to say, I don't know about the Charlotte thing about being an elective surgery. My mom got her hip replaced 5 times, and every single time that happened, it went down in the books as an elective surgery, even though it was definitely required for her life. So let's not jump to conclusions as far as what it is that she may or may not have an injury for. It could be definitely legitimate. Thank you. Thank you for the proper use of blessing us with SpongeBob. Yes, thank you.
All I'm saying is if it was a real injury, why would they have put her through a match like she was in last night?
Because they don't care about their independent contractors.
That's their biggest one, though.
In the time-honored tradition of this business, if you're hurt, you go out and you lose the belt. You go out and you do the job. You're going to get hurt. You know you're leaving. You put the next person over in the time-honored tradition of the spot.
I'm thinking that she comes back with some actual hips this time.
Randy Orton and Big Show kind of had it out. Big Show apparently took serious offense to everything that Randy Orton did to both Edge and Christian. Kenny P, you seem to be excited by this one. Go for it. The floor is yours.
Okay, Randy Orton has had 2 good, watchable professional wrestling matches his entire life. 2004 against Backlash, and then a couple months ago against Rey Mysterio. So those are the 2 best matches that dude's ever going to have in his career, and this Big Show program ain't going to be number 3.
Okay, John Licani, you want to throw that in there?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what actually happens with this, because I know Big Show's got his TV show. They left it as the warning was, what happens next is on you. Does that mean he's going to do something to somebody else to also piss off Big Show? Or is he threatening to actually go after Big Show? I wasn't even clear that they were actually going to lock up.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I thought, I didn't think about that happened to somebody else. I'm kind of thinking that this is just, Edge is hurt. They had to turn to somebody. And John Smith, they went to the Big Show. Like I said, he's got the TV show he can promote on Netflix. I'm sure not many people are watching, so that's good exposure for him as well.
Yeah, they dump a bucket of water on him before the interview, though?
So we'll see. I mean, that match, nothing was announced for Raw next week, so I don't know if they're going to make this a Raw match, or they're gonna throw Big Show back on pay-per-view. I can't remember the last time the Big Show was on pay-per-view. I know the obvious answer was WrestleMania, but that was technically a match on Raw, I guess, after WrestleMania, when he challenged Drew McIntyre, and that was probably one of the most random things I've ever seen.
Yes.
Anyway, speaking of random, Akira Tozawa's Ninjas and Akira Tozawa have won the 24/7 championship. John Smith, we'll start with you first. The Ninjas tried to throw it off Bobby Lashley because Tozawa hit under the ring, and then he got Truth again.
I think it's going to be interesting to have a 24/7 champion that's actually got protection around him. I think it's good for the title. I don't know if it's good for Akira Tozawa.
So I did notice one of his ninjas was noticeably missing, John Licani.
Yes, we were missing the largest of the gentlemen. But my thought on this is, like John said, yes, it's very interesting to finally have a 24/7 champion with backup. But is there any chance this doesn't wind up with Truth in a ninja outfit and a roll-up in a parking lot or something? And he gets his baby back?
That's it. Kenny P, there's always options with our Truth. What do you think?
Our Truth can make moves get rowdy. I mean, this whole thing's got Bruce Pritchard's nonsense all over it, and I don't know. I think the less said, the better about this one.
All right. We have two more things before we get into Sasha and Bayley. Apollo Crews and Shelton Benjamin again going at it. MVP is kind of being a little relentless here, trying to recruit Apollo Crews. John Licani, you can lead us off with this one.
Yes. Well, once again, Shelton tries to get Cruz to do the right thing and go along with the program, and then when he doesn't, he gets a beating. He gets a full Nelson, and then he gets a match with Shelton Benjamin. I would love to continue watching those two go at it. I'm not entirely sure if MVP is building a full stable. Is Benjamin going to be along for the ride, or is it just he's just trying to go after Cruz? I'm not sure exactly where they're going with this, but I'll watch Cruz and Benjamin wrestle as many times as they want to put them on TV.
Yeah, it seems like MVP is trying to teach lessons here. Like, what was lesson number one? When you're in a 2-on-1 situation, don't get distracted or whatever. I don't know. John Smith, what do you think?
As long as they keep putting on good matches, I don't really know where they're going. I don't really care. I like what they're doing with MVP and Lashley. I like that Shelton Benjamin is actually involved in TV now. Apollo Crews, he's got to get more of an attitude, though, in my opinion.
Okay. Kenny P, I think MVP came up with a stable name or faction name. It was called the Hurt something.
I missed what he exactly called it, but I mean, it's a redo of the Beatdown Clan, and MVP is money. He definitely is. I'm really glad he's back with the company and sharing his talents with not only the folks backstage, but also being a prominent role on television. He can talk, he can wrestle, he can do everything he needs to do. This whole program's very good, and if they all just become a posse that beats up people afterwards, cool.
Yeah, what was it? The Hurt something to do with Hurt. And then Rey and Dom Mysterio got some help against Rollins and Theory and Murphy. I actually thought, when the Mysterios were in the ring, and I saw Rollins walking out, and then I saw Murphy and Theory come out, and I see Rollins start laughing again. I thought AOP was right behind them. And I thought the Mysterios were in trouble, but actually it turned out to be Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black. So are we thinking 6-man at some point in time, or are we one-on-one with Seth and Ray at Extreme Rules? Kenny P, you can lead with this one. What do you want to see come out of the El Hijo de Mysterio here?
I want to see him win, and I want to see him not get hurt.
Okay.
I want to see Ray win, and I want to see him put in a program with a guy that's not going to put his career at risk. Because Seth Rollins is a very dangerous man. And I don't know if a dude like Ray should be in the ring with that dude.
Okay. John Smith?
Yeah, if there's anybody we should be canceling, it's Seth Rollins. He hurts too many people. Not for real, though. That was just a joke. I don't know. I don't know what to think with this one. I think we're getting Dominic versus Seth at some point. Is it going to be SummerSlam? Probably. I think it's going to be Ray versus Seth, or maybe just like the Cruz versus the Cruz. Extreme Rules, but then it's going to boil down to Dominic versus Seth Rollins, and Dominic gets the win somehow. I think in the end.
John LeConte, are you going to put Rey Mysterio on a forklift in that match? Winner gets Ray.
Why not? Yeah, no, I think the introduction of the chairs last night leads you to think it's probably going to be a 6-man with some kind of gimmick involved at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Then, like Smith said, eventually leading up to Rollins and Dominic. Although Ray did say he needed to take care of it one-on-one himself first. So I don't know. Somewhere in between there, we get Ray versus Seth first, and then we get Dominic versus Seth somewhere down the line. It all makes sense.
To go to your point, that's a tough, making your debut. I know Fandango debuted at WrestleMania, but that's for a kid his age debuting at SummerSlam, that's tough.
Well, I think that's why they do the. I think that's why they do the 3-on-3 first. To wet his peak, if you will.
Okay, so we are at that point. Oh, by the way, John DeCon, I know me and you, we were kind of. Where'd my mouse go? Oh, there it is. The picture we were talking about, that we wanted Lashley apart with Apollo Crews and the Street Profits. Unfortunately, that was the picture that they did take. They actually took it. I'm actually kind of shocked. Lashley would have been pretty cool if he was in it with them as champion, but wasn't meant to be, but they did it, and that's between them, and then you got the New Day and other proud black athletes as champions in WWE. Powerful messages sent there. We are at that wonderful point in time. Pro wrestling pick'em time. Play against your friends. Play against. I'm not even doing my. There we go. I get the logo right. I get my logo right. This segment is brought to you by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. We're going to pick the matches from the week. We got a little over 5 minutes left, so we'll make this a little bit quicker than normal. John DeConnie, our senior Impact correspondent. We have 5 matches booked tonight for Impact. We got X Division champion Willie Mack and the Deaners going against Chris Bay, Johnny Swinger, and a partner of their choosing. Now, Johnny Swinger was on the phone with somebody.
Yeah, now, I don't know how the no-compete clauses work exactly and the timing of the releases, but I did read a blurb somewhere that even though Swinger was turned down, the first person he asked to come join him and Bay, he said that he had a perfect plan B. Does that mean did Curtis Axel get future endeavors?
In that mix, yeah. Somehow Curtis Axel did, but Bo Dallas didn't.
Okay. July 18th is when everybody's free.
All right, so then tonight is too soon for that, but I'm not quite sure what the reference or the purpose of the reference of a perfect plan B was, but we're going to get a mystery partner.
All right, you pick for that match. I'm going to go with Willie. I don't like to bet against Willie Mack. I think he's awesome.
Yeah, I think Willie Mack keeps rolling.
Eddie Edwards and Madman Fulton. That sounds like a very crazy match to me. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with Edwards on that one.
Okay, then actually he's right. They added this match tonight. They added it a couple hours ago with everything that's going on at Impact. They're throwing Deonna Purrazzo making her Impact re-debut. I guess she was in it once before. Her re-debut against Eddie Edwards' wife Alicia.
Okay.
I think Deonna's obviously going to get the win here. A, because she's a Jersey girl. But B, it looks like it's a collision course with Jordan Grace at Slammiversary here.
Yeah, you've already had her attack and make warnings against the champion. You're not going to have her lose her first match back. So I'm with you there.
And then I'm going to spy another Jersey girl. Tasha Steelz is going to fight Nevaeh. Now, I'm not really too familiar with Nevaeh. I know she won last week. She beat Kimberly.
Right.
Nevaeh looks like she's the real deal, though. I think she's going to give Tasha Steelz a run for her money. I'm not betting against Jersey, though.
Correct. And if she's still going to have Jessica Havoc at her side, you got that extra little goodness. So yeah,
with Kiera Hogan, too. Kiera Hogan.
Yeah.
And then, and actually, in a very big knockouts match, Susie and Taya Valkyrie. I think that's a very impressive female match right there.
Absolutely. And we saw last week Susie kind of a little hesitant. Is she going back to the dark side? Or are we going to get the old Su Yung? So I'm going to go with Susie perhaps losing again and pushing herself that much closer to the edge.
Exactly. Like I said, John, we should be calling you Johnny Impact, and we all know Taya's from Slam Town here, so I don't know what you can bet against there. So we'll go with Taya on that one as well.
Right.
That'll do it for Impact tomorrow night on NXT. We're all going to chime in here on this one. We got Bronson Reed going first. He called out Karrion Kross. What's the over-under on time on this match? I'm giving it 60 seconds. John Smith, 60 seconds, over-under.
I'm going over. I think Bronson Reed comes out and with surprises Kross with a few big moves right off the bat, and then one big turnaround. Kross nails him a few times. I'd say like a minute 15. I'm not saying it's going to be a long match, but I'll go over 60 seconds definitely. Kenny
P, what do you got?
It should be a spirited 5-minute contest with both guys looking good and Kross getting the win. That's how it should go down.
Are we going to see any power moves, John DeConnie? Do you think I think that's what I want to see out of this more than anything is Karrion Kross and do some power moves on Bronson Reed here.
Exactly. Yeah, this gives him a chance to show off. This gives him a chance to show off just how powerful he is. So yeah, I'd probably go over the 60, but I'd have to hesitate if the over-under was 90.
All right, we the previously mentioned Damien Priest. I guess Cameron Grimes, he slashes tires last week, or he just let the air out of him. Grimes has got a lot of airtime lately. I'm loving it. I'm calling another miracle out of Grimey. John Smith, what do you think?
I mean, if I got to pick somebody, I'll go with Damien Priest. But I think they're just going to further this feud either way. So I don't think it's over tomorrow.
Okay. Kenny P?
Agreed, yeah. Damien Priest wins, or either wins outright and the feud continues, or Cameron Grimes cheats to win and the feud continues either way. But Damien Priest, exactly what he needs is a program with a guy like Cameron Grimes. Almost had a slip up there, called him somebody else who doesn't exist anymore.
No, I've called him Trevor Lee a couple times. John Connie.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Priest. If they're making somewhat of a switch in his character dynamic, I think it makes sense to put him on a little bit of a winning streak.
Okay. And then the big North American Championship match. John Smith, I know you made your bid earlier for Balor. I completely agree 100% with you and your thought process with Karrion Kross taking out Keith Lee during the match, turning it to a one-on-one where Balor gets the win on Gargano. Kenny P, you thinking anything else?
Johnny Gargano all the way.
Johnny Gargano. Okay. He's kind of the sleeper pick in all this because, it's not like he shouldn't be going for the world title. He said it on numerous occasions at the dinner table that he wants, him and Candice want to be the first ever male-female champions at the same time. So, John DeConnie, are you going to give Gargano a chance here, or what are we doing?
I think Johnny Takeover's always got a chance, but I see it the same way as John Smith. It just makes too much sense to have Balor, even if he doesn't necessarily, walk in there and dominate, or someone else gets involved. But I definitely see Balor versus Cole.
Okay. Yeah, the winner of that match gets Adam Cole the same night as day 2 of Fyter Fest, and we'll be going head-to-head with Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage. So it's going to be interesting to see who's watching what, and we'll get into that conversation either next week or the week after, depending on Tyler's return. All Elite Wrestling, speaking of AEW, we got the Natural Nightmares back in the ring again. They're going to be going against FTR. This is going to be sneaky good. Kenny P, who do you got?
FTR is going to win, coming in hot, strong.
All right, John Smith.
Totally agree. I don't see it even being a question, honestly.
All right, then John DeConnie, and I'll throw the question at you then. Is Allie going to make a difference this time? Is because Brandy kind of shot her a look to stay on the entrance ramp last week in their tag title match. Do you see this starting to blow over this week, or maybe a little bit more in the future?
Yeah, I guess this puts them in a very prime spot for her to do something that continues to piss Brandy off and cause some kind of problem within the group. So it's the perfect timing.
Okay. John Smith, you mentioned before the envelope from Brody Lee to Colt Cabana. Apparently in that envelope was a contract for a match this week where Brody Lee would team up with Colt Cabana to fight Jersey Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. So that's where that went. So I'm kind of thinking that Brody's going to teach Colt Cabana to get on the winning ways, hence, pulling Colt Cabana more into the Dark Order.
Interesting.
John Smith, yes, no?
No, I like that. I think he'll accept. Did he accept? I don't know.
Yeah, it's tomorrow night. Yeah, that's the match tomorrow night.
Oh, the match is actually happening? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like, oh, will he sign this? Okay.
No, the match is Brody Lee and Colt Cabana.
Do you know who they're fighting?
Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss.
Oh, okay. That's what you said. Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, I definitely got the Dark Order in that one then.
Okay. John DeConnie?
Yeah, I got the Dark Order going over in that one. That just makes sense to put Cabana in the right frame of mind to perhaps join up.
All right, Kenny P, any different here?
Yeah, Sonny Kiss is making his debut on television. Him and Joey have been having great matches. They're going to both win. They're going to Colt Cabana is going to get pinned, and it's going to cause further strife between Cabana and the Dark Order. He will not join.
Wow, you're going to go the other way with it. Okay. All right. And then
TNT television
what's that, Ken?
TNT television has finally loosened up their fear of putting Sonny Kiss on their network, so I think he's not going to lose the first time he's on television.
Okay. I know they were on Dark a couple times. I know that's not actual national television, but I know Sonny Kiss.
Right. National television. If it happens on television, it's television.
Yep. So we're not on television?
Television. It's a television.
Facebook Live's not television? The big match that I'm actually looking really forward to, the Lumberjack match between Luchasaurus and Wardlow. Kenny P, you can lead us off on this one. I want to hear your opinion first.
We got two big beefy boys slapping some meat. I mean, we got two big guys who are going to go at it. It's going to be a battle. All the Lumberjacks are going to get involved. I'll say Luchasaurus wins.
I love his athleticism. I'm a huge Luchasaurus fan. John the Connie?
Yeah, agreed. I see Luchasaurus just because I think we've seen more out of him. We know he definitely can get it done in the ring. And you've got the added goodness of both of them having their buddies at ringside that will, in all likelihood, be part of the Lumberjack squad and all the mix-ups that will come from that, them attacking each other, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. Yes, and MJF will be in the corner of Wardlow, and I'm sure Jungle Jack Perry and Marco Stunt will be with Luchasaurus, amongst others. John Smith, any other? You want to go a different way here, or are you good with?
I think Wardlow's going to win. Actually,
okay.
I think that he's got to show why he's MJF's muscle.
That's a great point, and it's an MJF that has that pinky ring that tends to knock people out. I'm going to go on Luchasaurus as well. I'm not going to be shocked at all if Wardlow wins this. John Smith is exactly correct. I don't see any reason why Wardlow couldn't win it. You know, this isn't any type of squash whatsoever, any type of easy match. As we talked about at the beginning of the show on SmackDown, the Intercontinental Championship is on the line. AJ Styles against Drew Gulak. John DeConnie, I'll let you shoot first on this one. I don't think I'd go you first at all recently.
All righty. Well, I think if we do get a finish, Styles will win. Obviously, I don't think he's giving up that title. Certainly not this soon. Certainly not on a non-pay-per-view. Certainly, no offense, not to Drew Gulak. But I'm not 100% positive we will get a clean finish. Maybe Riddle gets involved. Something crazy, some kind of schmaz ending, if you will.
Kenny P, Philly guy going for the title. Who you got?
I mean, I would love to see Drew Gulak snap the MAGA man's leg and take the title, but we all know that's not happening.
John Smith, any different? Or we gonna maybe some kind of disqualification, anything to kind of shake it up?
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna lead into something else. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a DQ and then it ended up being a tag match after that somehow. But it's his first title defense. You got to go with AJ. He is the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah, he proved that in his match with Daniel Bryan, right? Greatest wrestling match ever. Kenny P, I'm going to shoot directly at you with this one. The New Japan Cup Quarterfinals start early tomorrow morning.
6 a.m. Eastern, baby. NewJapanWorld.com.
Okay, we got Togi Takabe and Tomohiro Ishii.
Tomohiro Ishii is going to get the win in that beefy boy contest.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard. I'm still shocked that Maccabi beat Minoru Suzuki. Like, I just can't go. Because I was looking forward to, I think I've seen Suzuki and Ishii once before, and just hard hitting.
Those guys hard hitting. It's a lot of fun when they get to wrestle each other. But that's why I'm saying I don't know where they're going because they had a bunch of heavy hitters on the first way out. But Ishii gets the win over Makabe here.
Toru Yano is going to be facing the junior heavyweight champion of NJPW, Hiromu Takahashi, LIJ. That's who I'm going with. Kenny, who you got?
Toru Yano finds ways to win matches that he has no business winning, and this will be another one of those matches. Toru Yano advances.
Exactly. Specifically his first round match, we didn't get a really chance to talk about it, but 3 members of the Bullet Club couldn't beat Toru Yano in the first round last week.
Yeah, Toru Yano, man, sneaky style. The guy's an incredible wrestler and a very accomplished professional. Holds a pinfall victory over Jon Moxley. Definitely not to be slept on.
And I believe Taji Ishimori, that is the Bone Soldier of the Bullet Club, if I remember correctly, against Yoshinobu Kanemaru.
Lots of upside on Ishimori. He's one of their juniors who could be in the mix for the title right away. Kanemaru's more of a B-side, B-level player. He's like a NWO B team kind of. So I say Ishimori would get the win in this one.
Yeah, Kanemaru, he's the guy that was carrying around a bottle of whiskey. I like that guy. I picked him. Comes out with a bottle of whiskey. You know?
Sake, Japan.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bone Soldier on that one, too. I know Ishimori did spend some time in Impact, so I am very familiar with him. Then he went back to Japan and joined the Bullet Club. And what I'm going to assume would be the main event is Yuji Nagata against Kazuchika Okada.
The showstopper.
I don't think I'm ever going to bet against Okada in NJPW. You?
No way, man. The showstopper, the headliner, the main event. No one is stopping Kazuchika Okada until somebody does.
Okay, so real quick, guys, we're just going to pay some bills. Let me just get the graphics ready here. We're a little bit over time. I do apologize for that. Let's see what we're doing here. That's the one that we want to do first. We got to join our friends Kurt, Kenny, Jim, and Petro tomorrow night starting at 8 p.m. as they talk all things sports over at the K&K Sports Show, which airs on Saturdays and Wednesday evenings live on Facebook and our sister-in-law station, the I-95 Sports Network. For more information, check out their Facebook page at the K&K Sports Show or visit the i95sportsnetwork.com. And then also we have, where is this one? Boom. Episode number 24 of the Primetime Rundown Zoom interview series returns tomorrow night, June 24th, when Joey Jarzenka sits down with the Athletics Philadelphia Phillies beat writer Matt Gelb starting at 8 p.m. right here on the Eastern Observer. And then we actually have breaking news coming out. You'll be hearing it first, people. Dropping before social media, I am proud to be the first to announce that the Primetime Rundown Zoom interview series will be welcoming the fourth periods and the NHL's Los Angeles Kings beat writer Dennis Bernstein on Thursday, July 2nd at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information, please log on to theeasternobserver.com. What's that? So, guys, we ran a little bit overtime. I appreciate you so much for coming on again, filling in for Tyler. Tyler's at home doing some family stuff. Looks like we all have action figures up right now. I'll bring Vince up. Is that Jericho?
All the belts.
Nice. So, anything you guys want to say before we head out? John Smith.
What the hell were the Butcher and the Blade wearing last week? And also, Dexter Lumis and the Dream are going to be the next tag team champions in NXT.
Really? Dream actually, he shot that idea down when Lumis dropped that picture on his couch.
Yep.
That's going to go somewhere.
It's a consolation prize for not getting the world title, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. John DeConnie, anything up from your end?
Just thanks for having me on again, and I think that covers just about everything.
All right, I'm sure you're going to get the last word in on the show. Kenny P, thank you for coming aboard, buddy. Your first show. How'd you feel? How'd you do?
I felt pretty good about it. It was all good. I appreciate you guys having me on. It was good to chop it up with everybody. I made an album. It's at lucharock.bandcamp.com, and you could follow me on Twitter at The Mystery Men. Thank you.
All right. My name is Al Karl. We appreciate you very much for listening on Facebook Live and on the I-95 YouTube Sports channel, which I believe it's our sister-in-law channel, right? I said that right? Again, the show is sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Please go on to their website if you want to see any archive footage of the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Again, my name is Al Karl. For John Smith, King Kong Bundy, John DeConnie, Chris Jericho, Kenny P, Alicia Fox, my name is Al Karl. Thank you very much. Alexa Bliss. Hold on, let me get you up here, sweetheart. We love you, Alexa Bliss. Please keep smiling. John, you go for it, John. There you go.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
See you next week, guys.